All right, so welcome guys to the chat. Let me go ahead and share my screen. For those of you that are joining, welcome to Sunday Heart Check, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sunday Heart Check. Let me go ahead and share it really quick. All right, so here's the thing, guys. I want to share this with you. I was at the I forgot what it was called. Hold on, let me think about it. Oh yeah, I was at a event in Houston with Garrett Roberts, right? Rich off the net. Um, and Christopher Terry was speaking. He was the last person to speak, right? And he talked about, you know, if your arm is hurting, you can't lift your shoulder up halfway, or you can't lift your shoulder up at all. You can't lift your arm at all because it's in excruciating pain. You take a pill called ibuprofen, or some sort of releasing pill to help stimulate or help take the pain away. Like you take some Tylenol or some Advil. If you have a headache, you can't really move because your head hurts. You take that ibuprofen, or you take some Tylenol or Advil or some sort of medicine to help stimulate yourself or get rid of the pain, right? Well, here's the thing. I want to talk to you about, I want to give you the spiritual side of your pain, because some of us, we're just so stuck we can't move because we have a lot of issues that we haven't dealt with, right? We have a lot of issues that we just we feel like we should take to the grave. We feel like we shouldn't tell anybody, or we feel like we shouldn't even talk about it, right? It's just too touchy of a subject. But here's the thing. If the subject doesn't get touched, the pain is going to grow and you won't be able to move at all, right? You'll forever be in that stuck place. And I'm telling you this because it happens in business. It happens in trading, right? It can happen. So I want to talk to you about the ibuprofen of your spiritual pain, right? And that ibuprofen is forgiveness, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you feel like, man, you know somebody, or someone that has hurt you in the past? Type a five in the, well, no, not a five. Type a seven in the chat if you know somebody, or if you know a friend that has been hurt in the past, or don't snitch on yourself now. But you type some sevens in the chat if you know somebody that's been hurt. Now type a number 8 in the chat if you haven't all the way forgiven this person, or if that person doesn't know anything about forgiveness. I see the sevens coming in. I'm not gonna call out any names, because hey, this is for everybody. Okay? This is for everybody. Here's the thing. To forgive someone, like you see it here, right? To forgive someone is to basically, hey, stop feeling angry or resentment towards someone, right? Or it could be, to cancel something. It could be to cancel a debt, right? How many of you have ever experienced what's called student loans? And guess what? If you've been forgiven a loan or any type of debt, student loans, IRS debt or car note, whatever. If you've been canceled out of debt, how does that make you feel? Type it in the chat. I'm asking for a friend, right? Type that in the chat. How does that make you feel? Oh, you dancing. I know me, when I was forgiving my student loans, I didn't, first off, I didn't even know. So I had to sit back and realize, like, man, I've been forgiven of something that I don't think I could have paid if I had a job, right? I don't think I would ever pay that. I'm in too much debt, right? So when I've been forgiven a debt, or when I've been canceled out something that I was supposed to pay, yeah, I'm feeling happy about it. I'm doing the happy dance. I'm jumping up and down, doing flips. I can't even do a flip, but I'm flipping, right? I'm showing my excitement, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how you feel when you feel like you've been counseled a debt, right? When somebody has forgiven you, okay, everything is all good, right? But that's what it means to forgive. Okay. Now I want to share something with you guys. I want to share a small scenario. And yes, it is out the Bible, right? Because most of my heart checks are going to be coming from scripture, right? Now, whoever God you believe in, that's I'm not here, to debate or to preach or nothing like that, right? Whoever God you believe in, that's the God you pray to, right? I'm not here to preach no type of gospel to you, right? But I do want to share something from the Bible, right? I want to share a little parable with you. It's called the parable of the unforgiving debtor, right? And you can find it in Matthew 18, it's verse 21 through 35, right? If you want to know the whole thing, you can read it for yourself, right? But I'm just going to I'm just going to summarize it or simplify it. Yeah, I'm just going to simplify it. All right. So it says, first off, one of the disciples came to Jesus and said, "Hey, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him?" And he asked the question up to 7 times. And here's Jesus' reply. He said, "You should forgive this man 70 times 7. What do I mean when he say that? That means you should forgive him regardless of it doesn't matter how many times this man apologizes. It doesn't matter how many times this man, asks you to repent. You should forgive him either way, right? You should forgive him no matter how many times he apologizes, right? No matter how many times." And he starts to share the parable. Hey, it's like the kingdom of heaven. It's like a certain king who wants to settle accounts with someone, who wants to settle accounts with his peasants, right? Now, he came to basically handle up, because that's what it means to settle accounts, to basically, hey, I'm finna settle a debt with you. I need my money. Right? I need my money back. It's time to handle up, basically. Sorry, I gotta go homeboy on you. But when it means to settle accounts, it means, hey, I need my money, man. I need my money. Now, oh my God, my daughter. Now, so he went to the first peasant, and to settle accounts with him, he said, "Hey, you owe me 10,000 talents, right? You owe me 10,000 talents." Now, I want you to understand this. A talent is worth 20 years of labor, right? Back then, it was worth 20 years of hard work, okay? So if you look at that now, you're looking at $1,000 to $30,000. Now, this peasant owed 10,000 talents. 10,000 times 1,000 or 30,000, you're looking at $10 million to $300 million in debt. How many of you just have $10 million to $300 million sitting around to pay off a debt, right? Type me in the chat if that's you. Look, I think somebody put me in the chat. Hold on. I think not I. Somebody said I ain't got it like that, right? Not too many people do, unless you're just super rich, right? $300 million in debt, that's a lot to pay off, right? That's a lot to pay off. But this peasant, he had it. He didn't have a lot, but he did not have enough to pay off that much, right? So guess what he said? He said, "Please be patient with me. Like, please be patient with me. Look, I ain't got it, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't really have it like that. But give me some time and I'll get it to you. I'll pay it all." Right? This is what the peasant was telling the king. Man, give me time. Give me some time and I'll pay it back. Right? Give me some time and I'll pay it back. Basically begging this man, right? Basically apologizing to this man. "Listen, man, I don't have your money, but if you give me some time, I will pay it back." And guess what the king did? He felt compassionate about him. He was moved with compassion, right? With pity, some people say. And he canceled the debt. You know what? Let's just don't even worry about it, right? Don't even worry about it. Everything is canceled. Everything is all good. All is forgiven, right? Remember, if you ever had student loans, Just imagine how you would feel being forgiven a student loan debt, especially if you owe so much to where you can't even pay it if you have a job, right? And yet you're being forgiven of it, and you didn't even drop a dime on it because you don't have it, right? And yet you've been forgiven of it. I want you to think about that, right? So this servant, he was, of course, he was flipping, jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks, running up and down, shouting, praising the Lord, doing what he does, doing what his happy dance was. Okay. But he saw another servant, one of his servants, because I forgot to tell you that the servant that the king was talking to had peasants of his own. He had servants of his own. Okay. And he saw one servant that owed him 100 denarii. Now, denarii is worth 20 weeks' wage, right? So let's say it's $3.62 for a denarius, right? Or a penny. Back then, a penny was worth that much, right? So 100 denarii, you're looking at $72.40 in debt, right? Now, I want you to understand this. How small is that? How small is a $72.40 debt? Right? Type it in the chat. Ask yourself that question. How small is a $72.40 debt, ladies and gentlemen? How small is that? Too small compared to a $10 million or $300 million debt that you could not pay, right? But here's the thing. The peasant that owed, the servant that owed the servant who was counseled, he didn't have that much compassion, right? He didn't have that much compassion. Guys, that's like you being in a debt of $80,000. You being forgiven of an $80,000 debt, but yet you're going to basically choke out or hem up somebody who owes you $50, right? So this servant, he went up to him like, "Hey man, I need my money, man. You owe me 100 denarii, man. You owe me $72.40." And he basically laid hands on him almost as if to choke him. "Man, where my money at? I needs my money, man. Hand me my money, man. Loan up, son, pay up." And guess what that servant said? "Man, I don't have it. I don't have it. Give me time and I will pay. I will pay you." He said, "Have patience with me and I will pay you all." Right? "I will give you exactly that $72.40 that I pay you, that I owe you. I'll give it to you. Just give me some time, man. Just give me 2 weeks. I'll have it in 2 weeks. Or just give me 20 weeks. I'll give it to you. I promise you." But you know what that servant did? Let me just read it to you. It said, no, right? He wasn't attempting to hear it, right? Said, "Have patience with me. I'll pay you all," but he would not. He went and threw him into the prison till he should pay the debt. So he basically threw this man in jail. "You ain't got my money. Okay, you finna work for it. I'm gonna put you in the jail cell until you give me what you owe me. Until you pay me what you owe me, I'm gonna make you work for it." How many of you have did this before? Somebody sinned against you, or somebody offended you, somebody hurt you, and you held that grudge and you made this person work for your forgiveness. Let me say this. Let me ask you this question. How many of you have blown an account or have had somebody quit your business, had somebody that you basically invested into, quit your business, and they come back and now you're going to make them work for it? You're going to make them work to earn your forgiveness, ladies and gentlemen. Or how many times have you been in the market, you've lost money, right? But instead of letting it go, instead of saying, "Okay, hey, it's a lesson, I'll get it back," you binge trade, you revenge trade, you up your lot size to get your money back, basically choking the market out. How many of you have done that? Type a 3 in the chat. Yeah, I'm getting deep. It's that deep. Holding unforgiveness towards the market, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys can hear me, I don't know if I'm sounding staticky, but if you guys can hear me, type of 5 in the chat. Somebody said 3. Let's get it. Let's get it. So he said, you know what? Throw him in the jail. Little did he know that somebody saw that. Somebody saw all that servant did to another servant that owed him 100 denarii, right? And he went and told the king. So guess what? The king called that same servant up who was choking the other servant out. And he said, you wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you begged me. So basically you had a $10 million debt that I canceled. Why? Because you was on your knees begging me, apologizing, right? You was on your knees begging me to cancel that debt. And I had that compassion on you. Why couldn't you do the same to the person who owed you $72.40? How come you didn't have that same compassion? Right? How come you didn't have that same compassion? Some of you have disrespected your leaders in this business, and they have forgiven you. And yet you commit the same type of offense to your teammates. You ain't got to drop no 5s in the chat. You don't have to agree, right? You don't have to agree, but I want you to think about it, right? If that's you, I need you to do this. I need you to understand something. For the incompassion that you have for your teammates, for your family members, for your people in your sphere of influence, as much judgment as you have on them, don't think that the king won't release that type of judgment to you. You understand what I'm saying? Do not think that God won't release that type of judgment to you because you show no compassion to the people in your sphere of influence, right? Let me prove it. He said, hey, should you not have compassion on your fellow servant, just as I had pity on you? And his master was angry and delivered him to the torturers until he paid all of his debt. Now I can only imagine that servant and the king was having this argument. You know, the king is like, hey man, you had a $10 million debt and I canceled it. Why? Because you begged me. You was on your hands and your knees apologizing, asking for forgiveness, begging for mercy, and I canceled and I gave it to you. And now you go to another servant and you show incompassion. You don't show any mercy. This is what you do. And I can imagine that servant said, it's not the money, it's the principle. It's not the money, it's the principle of the whole thing. If I gave him something, if I loaned him some money, then guess what? I deserve it back. Trust me, I get it. I get it. It's not the money, it's the principle. Well, guess what? It's not the money, it is the principle. The principle is that this man forgiving you, that the king has forgiven you, and you didn't show any compassion to your servant, right? The principle is, yes, that person did leave your business. You know, that person did leave your business. And you showed no compassion. Why? Because you dropped salt on his name, right? You basically did him wrong, did him dirty. Or the market took your money, right? You got in the trade at the wrong time. You over leveraged, right? The market took your money. You lost a couple of dollars. Now you want to get your money back. You revenge trading. You up your lot size. You over leverage, and guess what? Now your account is blown. And now you're saying, man, I don't just want to do Forex anymore because, you know, they took my money. It really don't work. Knowing that the last time it showed compassion, right? You were making money in the market, but as soon as you lost, you start revenge trading, right? You start revenge trading instead of just saying, hey, you know, I took that lesson. It's all good. I'm going to learn from it. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Those torturers could be anything, right? The person that offended you I want to let you know something. The person that offended you, they sleeping at night. They don't know that they offended you most of the time. They don't know. You are the one that's holding that unforgiveness in your heart. And until you release that, until you let it go, you will be the one stuck, right? You will be the one stuck at a standstill, stuck at your rank, stuck at the same money that you have in your account, right? You will be stuck in that same space that you're in, the same space that got you stuck in the first place. I want you to understand something. Maybe God is putting you there because you have resentment, because you have some sort of anger inside of you, because you are operating in what's called vengeance, right? You're operating in offense. And God is leaving you at that place. You're doing the work needed, but you're just not moving. Why? Because you have some sort of anger in your heart and you need to let it go. All right. So you see the assignment. You see the assignment. I need you to call somebody. I need you to text someone that you know. If you don't have their number, you can text them. You can DM them on Facebook or on Instagram, right? And I need you to apologize for your part, right? The part that you played, if you did play a part in, a friendship being severed. If you played a part in that, I need you to call them. I need you to apologize. But before you do that, I need you to forgive them first for their offense, right? I need you to forgive them. Before you even call them, I need you to let them go. I need you to let it go. I need you to I need you to write that person's name down. And I need you to say, hey, I forgive him for the offense that he caused me. I forgive him of his offense and I release that anger from him and I give it to my God. I give it to God. I release myself from that chain. And then I need you to call this person. I need you to apologize to him for your part, right? If you offended him, I need you to let him know that you apologize for offending him, right? I need you to release that. And guess what? Even if it's you, I need you to forgive yourself. I need you to let it go. I need you to forgive yourself. Yes, you've blown an account. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, somebody left your business because you weren't there to guide them. Okay, cool. Let that go. Let it go. Get better, right? But you won't get better if you're stuck. You won't go anywhere if you're stuck. And you won't get out of the stuck place unless you release those anger, that resentment, and that vengeance, those offenses. Somebody that you love told you what you're doing is a scam and you took that as an offense. I need you to forgive that person. Let it go. Because the bottom line, you know this works. You know what you're doing works. It has been a benefit to you. So stop letting people do that. Let them go, right? And if you clap back at somebody, if you clap back at that person, I need you to apologize, right? I need you to apologize for how you said it, right? If it was offensive to them, I need you to apologize for your part, right? Because guess what? To forgive someone is to set a prisoner free and discover that prisoner which was you, right? I need you to screenshot that. I need you to write that down because that's a quote that I need y'all to remember that quote. To forgive someone is to set a prisoner free and discover that prisoner was you. So that's my time, you guys. It is, let me stop my share. It'll still be up there. So if you learned anything from this heart check, I need you to go in the Telegram, go in the Love Movement, go in your team Telegrams, and I need you to type that. And I need you to type the one thing that stuck out to you. All right. And you can follow me on Instagram at Uncle_T_ Mr. GU. All right. At Uncle_T_ Mr. GU. That's my Instagram page. You definitely share this. If you want this PowerPoint, let me know. I will give it to you. So with that being said, guys, we'll see you at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. However, we'll never look down on anyone unless we are willing to help you up. This has been Uncle T. Thank you very much for this. Take care and God bless.